Now we got it. Now it's up. Okay, good. Thanks. Good Lord. I'm not going to put another 5 minutes on there. Welcome to the show. I think everything's good. Finally, that's very strange. And I think we should be up on the Insta something or other. It should be working. I don't know. It's always weird with Instagram because I can't undo it and restart it again. It's just whatever. So hopefully we're up and running everywhere else. And by God and by golly, I'll see if I can. Let's see. Manage dual output. Can I do it through the record? Let's see. Output and go to recording, and then recording formats of this, and then this kind of thing. I can't do anything about it. Never mind. Okay, we'll just go. Yay! Everybody's here. Hi, YouTube folks. Everybody join in. It'll take a moment for everybody to get in. It's fine. I hate when people start a live stream with the whole "Am I there?" thing, but I get it. Sometimes you can't help it. It's just life and that kind of stuff. Yes, Infowars is definitely up for sale. There was a guy reporting, I think, from like I don't think it was Infowars. I think it was like, yeah, Bannon had some douchebag outside of Infowars. Here you go. By the way, hi chat room. Let me welcome you guys in here. Hello. Hit that like, everybody, now that we're online and we're ready to go. And hello, and how are you? Thanks for rejoining us, all the political folks that hate when I do Friday AI because it's just not something you're that into. But believe me, you will be, and you'll thank me later. It's all right. But yeah, and does Alex Jones just have like an AI name generator for his weird followers or reporters? This is Chase Geyser. So he's chasing guys around Houston, and he's on Bannon because he's outside the courthouse where two court cases are happening at the same time. Alex Jones's his bankruptcy, his personal bankruptcy, and the legal transference over of all of Infowars to him so that it can be sold off. Yeah, let's check it out. See what this says.
Let's go to Houston, Texas, outside the courthouse there. I think a federal court in.
By the way, most of us are used to seeing Steve Bannon. He got a prison haircut, but we're used to seeing him in front of that mantle that he has at his Washington D.C. studio. I'm guessing he's getting out and looking through glass and walking in nature a lot right now because in a week.
In Houston, Chase Geyser.
Sure, he's missed his. Come on, how's that guy not one of the people on the Weather Channel who drives around looking at tornadoes?
From Infowars. Chase, tell us what exactly is going on. Where's Alex Jones? What's happening, and why are you guys?
He's under the courthouse, Alex. He's thrown himself under the mercy of the court. He's the first person to ever do that.
In Houston.
Absolutely. So we are standing outside of the court building right now. Alex is about ready to go into his first hearing. He did speak to the press briefly before walking into the building. But basically today we have a couple of hearings going on. One for Alex Jones's personal bankruptcy and another for the bankruptcy for free speech systems and free speech.
Free speech. Do you know what kind of an asshole you have to be to name your network Free Speech Systems? I mean, consider this, if you will, chat room. Join with me in this moment. So let's say you are an Alex Jones type. You are planning on making a living, panicking your fellow human beings into thinking that the end times are right around the corner and the world's run by baby-eating lizards, right? And you're I would think until you're ready to like set the trap for the global elite and then snap it shut with your brilliant 5D chess shit, you'd kind of keep it on the DL, you know what I mean? Wouldn't you try? I would call it universal exports myself, but you know what I mean? Like free speech systems, because the system won't let me speak freely. Is that name cleared? It is cleared. All right, well then call it that, I guess. It's just stupid.
Systems, of course, is the parent company for Infowars. We anticipate that his personal bankruptcy is going to be moved from a Chapter 11 to a Chapter 7, which will basically remove his ownership of Infowars today. We're not sure what the fate of Infowars.
Oh, yeah, they're trying to extract him so that it can stay afloat and hire him as the only employee.
Specifically is going to be, but it seems very likely that the judge is going to dismiss the bankruptcy, which will give the company technically back to Alex, but remove
right. They're going to try to shift it to Chapter 7, and he's going to say, fuck you, nice try.
the bankruptcy protection. We anticipate the plaintiffs will then move to liquidate at the state court. All of
yeah, you're expecting it to fail, is what you're saying. What you're saying is, yeah, I think he's got a kazoo stuck in his throat. I agree. I don't know what the sound is. It's the shitty production value on Bannon's War Room. I think they're expecting him to go to jail, so they're not springing for the good mics today. But let me just clarify for anybody in the cheap seats. Alex Jones tried to do a money shuffle to protect his assets from being liquidated, and it's not working. It's not going to work. Yeah, and he tried to do it on the same day the liquidation happens because he's an asshole.
Infowars assets, and we don't know what the process is going to be like fighting that from this point forward. But it's definitely a very pivotal moment in Infowars history and in the free speech argument.
In the free speech argument.
Was this something that Alex and his lawyers worked on to take away the bankruptcy protection, or is this something that happened with court pressure, or is this pressure from the families? Or how did we get to this place that the bankruptcy protection is being taken away?
Because he's trying to hide his assets when he lost in a court case.
Yeah, that's a really good question. And
no, it isn't. First of all, Steve Bannon already knows the answer.
To be totally honest with you, Steve, some of these answers are a little bit too nuanced for me in terms of bankruptcy law. This is something that is...
Thank God we have an expert down at the courthouse. Hey, fuckwad, real quick. Maybe, I don't know, go into the building right behind you and ask anyone. One of the guards will be able to explain this to you.
Part of the legal strategy for Alex Jones. This is not Alex Jones giving up. This is just...
No, it's Alex Jones failing at his last vain attempt to try and kick money out of kick food out of the mouths of the people that he denied the dignity of the death of their children.
Beginning of this next fight, but for several reasons they did make this decision. However, we have been backed into a corner to the point where it seems like every week that goes by, Steve, our options are fewer and fewer.
Yeah, that's not you being backed into a corner. That's you running out of options because you lost.
As to what we can do to keep Infowars on the air, we're doing the best we can.
Rename it Broadcast from your fucking phone. I'm dead serious. Fame is more resilient than money anyways. What are you talking about? He's not trying to save his free speech. He's trying to save his big studio. This is the only person like on the street we've actually seen anywhere, and this is a person that works there that's being interviewed by Bannon. It's not like Alex Jones is sending people all over the country, like the fucking all over the world, even like the Washington Post or something. He just reads other people's work and interprets it in the most bad faith way possible for a fucking living.
Is Infowars after the days? Can we still anticipate that Infowars is going to be on Alex's show that goes from noon? I think it's 3, 4, 5 hours sometimes, and you've got these other great shows up there with folks.
Name them, Steve. Great shows with other folks. What are those shows again? The ones you know really well because you give a shit. And say again how Alex is on for 3, 4, 5 hours. I don't know. So that he's on all the time, and then they have other great shows like.
Can we anticipate, at least for right now, nothing will change after the day? The shows will still.
The show will still be on. It'll just be a lot darker, Alex. It'll look something like this. Kind of, only worse. Shit, my system's too resilient for me to even do. I tried to turn the lights off in my room, and you can still see me. It'd be way worse than that. I want to buy the desk. Sandy Hook families, name your price. I don't have that much money, but I would gladly buy it and then just make a mockery of it.
Still be on? The website will be on?
Yeah. Worst case scenario would be that this would be shut down this afternoon. We don't.
I think case scenario. Worst case, I'm going with best. You can stay on the air, but you have to, it's 24 hours a day. If you go to Infowars, to their website, it'll just play a 24-hour apology to the Sandy Hook families forever. Oh, you'd contribute to Buy the Desk? Thank you. Hey, if it's up, we'll see.
I think that's likely. I think there's probably a greater than 50% chance that we see a shutdown sometime next week.
Yes. Oh, it is greater than 50%.
Best case scenario would be that Alex is able to work out some sort of a deal that allows us to stay on air for the next 3 to 4 months while we liquidate and sell our inventory ourselves. Now,
yes, I want him. Fuck you. Here's what I want. I want Alex Jones to sell the shit on air. He didn't have time to blather about the fucking deep state, Illuminati, lizard people, baby eaters, cabal, eyes wide shut shit. He turns the whole thing into Infowars QVC, selling back stock of his fucking dick pills with lead in them, and his shitty whey protein that's got fucking sawdust in it, and his stupid desk, and empties his liquor cabinet, and the last thing they sell is the camera, and then you just say the last thing. It's all just wait, hold on. This is the final scene. 1 second. I'm gonna do a news. This is what you're gonna see. Just this. That's it. All right. That's all. Just see it like, I got one thing to sell left. I could sell it. We just sold the microphone and the camera in lot number. What's the last lot number? 666. A fucking. Anyways, welcome back. So, where are we? This is what happens when I make new windows. I would be okay with him the last scene from The Jerk. I'd be okay with him being on for 3 more months just selling shit. As they come through and like guys are like carrying stuff out behind him. Yes, please. I'm okay with that. I'm all right with that. 100%. This is all right. So, let's go back to whatever. Let's finish out whatever this guy's whining about.
Based on the actions of the legal team that's been in opposition to us over the course of the last year,
the legal team that's been in opposition to us since who would that be? Oh, that would be the parents of the dead kids.
Anticipate any goodwill whatsoever. I think they want to aggressively.
I don't anticipate any goodwill. What? I'm sorry. You don't expect any. You don't anticipate any goodwill from the parents of the dead children that this motherfucker sent his viewers to mock and harass, who he attacked as crisis actors, whose viewers pissed on the graves of these children. You don't anticipate any goodwill. Excellent.
Shut this operation down as quickly as possible, similar to how they're shutting you down in as many ways as they possibly can, because they.
Sorry, he's on Real America's Voice. That channel's not going anywhere. He'll be in jail. He can write his show out on fucking toilet paper and mail it to someone, and then somebody can make a Steve Bannon AI without the stank that can do the show every day.
Don't want the truth being broadcast up as this election approaches on November 5th. I really think that what this is truly about is preventing any pro-Trump voices from having a large audience in the.
Whoa! What? Excuse me. Why would? What makes you think that truth and being pro-Trump are aligned in any way?
Coming months as this election heats up.
As this election heats up. It's not. Wait. By the way, the existence of Alex Jones's show is not going to sway voters in any direction. He doesn't have a mass of swing voters that are going to listen to what the fuck he has to say. He's not going to uncover anything special reading the mainstream media's news stories on his fucking desk and going, see, I put them all together. Like, sure, I read everything the mainstream press puts out, but I have threads in my mind it's like the opposite. You know how they had a beautiful mind, I have an ugly brain. And what it does is it takes all these stories and it hyper syntaxes them together into a composite of bullshit.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask you. The possibility that the folks that are owed the money could get paid back, you would have to be on air. Alex would have his sponsor.
Nope. No. They're not trying to make money off this motherfucker. They're not trying to make that full billion. They'll take everything he's got and then some and be happy with him going away because of what he did to them.
Be selling advertising, doing the things that you guys do to generate revenue from that cash flow. They would get it, and eventually, and $1.5 billion is kind of hard to ever see it getting paid down, but at least some money starts coming in to move.
They're not doing this because they're broke, you dumb motherfucker. The number was a punishing number. It was not equal to the direct because they don't want an annuity, you dumb motherfucker. They want some sense of justice, however financial, because they can't criminally go after them in that regard for defaming them and their dead fucking kids.
Move to liquidation and just to sell for your property, plant, and equipment is.
Leave it to Steve Bannon to go, this is not a good money-making opportunity. If this guy's not still on the air defaming these parents and their children or allowed to do it to other people.
Pennies on the dollar, they would never get paid back. So it would lead one to believe that this is all about silencing Alex Jones in the run-up to the all-important 2024 election. Is that?
Well, this happened a while back. Why wouldn't it be in the all-important 2020 election? Shit, if he made it through this cycle and the judgment had come a year later, would it be for the all-important midterm or the all-important 2028? Like, the fuck out of here.
Anything in my logic incorrect there, sir?
Yes, they're not in it for the money. Fuck you.
As you see it?
I think your logic is totally sound. There have been a couple of junctures during this process where we thought we were going to be able to settle with the plaintiffs. One settlement that was offered was for over $80 million. There was another counter offer for over $50 million. We understand.
Yeah. Chicken shit money. He was going to settle for $80 to $50 million, which would involve him. The dude has a net worth of $270 million. Alex Jones is worth $270 million. He socked away that much in fucking crypto and weird exchanges. Like, that's not a punishment at all. It's like a fee to continue terrorizing parents and children.
And that our assets are worth somewhere less than $10 million. So they're making substantially less by liquidating us than they would by keeping us or allowing us to be on the air to continue to operate and settle with them and make payments to them over the course of 5 to 10 years.
Yeah, dude, you didn't wreck their car.
There's several reasons, and I won't bore you with the logistics or the details of the reasons
because you can't.
Why we didn't accept some of the settlement offers in the past, trying to silence and control speech. They wanted a board of directors basically to run the company, which is something that was an untenable position for Alex personally. But
because you can't, it shifts your fiduciary duty as the head of the company, and you can't like sneak money out. You can't continue to pilfer, or the board would start releasing documents about how much money he's making. And once his viewers saw that, they would realize that, oh shit, if anything this guy said was true at all, he'd have been dead 2 decades ago. Oh wait, I'm being used. Basically, this is just a fucking email from a Nigerian prince as a television show.
They made over $70 million suing Remington already. They're making a lot of money, raising money for nonprofits and other organizations based off of depicting Alex as this perpetual villain. So I think in their eyes, they want to A, shut him down, and B.
Well, if they're making money portraying him as a perpetual villain, then they're shutting down their money machine, and that's exactly the opposite of what they're doing. They just want him to get the fuck out of here.
They anticipate that they're going to be able to generate revenue for themselves in
Also, he can do his fucking show from his phone. Shut the fuck up with this stuff. Even in bankruptcy, you have to be able to like pay your rent and live. Like, he could still make a living. He'd still draw in enough money just going, hey, I'm standing out here at the fucking bus stop waiting to meet Greg Kelly for a one-on-one interview, me and him on the bus. So don't forget to like and subscribe. Like, fuck you, man. I work for a living.
other way.
By the way, I'd like to remind everybody, if you could, like, subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show. Share the show out, if you would, out on the interwebs. It's helpful. See how easy it is, Alex? You lazy prick.
By taking the trophy that is Infowars in the freedom of speech space.
What I didn't understand, they actually went after his social media. They went after his Twitter account last night in federal court. How does that work? How do you take someone's...
Because it's a business Twitter account. He can be Alex751274HZ6 if he wants to. Alex Patriot 1776 Q45. Right? He could be that if he wants to. But that's a business outlet. That is hooked up to the business. It is owned by the business. It is run by the business. It's not his personal fucking Twitter. He controls it most of the time, but it also is a promotion point for the entire organization. It is a paid for one, by the way. It is licensed more than likely through some sort of like algorithm busting jump account under Elon Musk.
Twitter account. And do you anticipate that'll be given to them over the next couple of days?
Great question. So we heard this news break yesterday. Reuters covered it. And they did file a motion for Alex's @Real Alex Jones Twitter account to be explicitly listed as an asset in this Chapter 7.
Right, because that's what it is. It's a business outlet.
Bankruptcy, because they want to take it, and they try to make some silly arguments for why they should. But this is something that I've never heard of or seen before. I've never witnessed anyone have.
I've never seen someone being interviewed get hit by a train either. What the fuck is wrong with you? Jesus Christ. If that guy leans while he's talking, he's a dead man.
Their personal Twitter account removed in a bankruptcy, even in examples of Tucker Carlson being fired from Fox, or Don Lemon, or Brian Stelter. It's unprecedented that when somebody leaves a major news organization, that they have to forfeit.
Infowars is not a major news organization. It has no editorial standards at all. It's whatever he wants to say, he can say anytime he wants to, and it is a front. All the bullshit he says is a front to sell things to his dumbass followers.
In any way, their personal.
Are we live? We're alive, Taret. We are live. By the way, Venmo. I want to say, Jill, thank you for the Venmo. I appreciate that. I saw that, and I wanted to make sure that you know that you came to this. Thank you so much for that.
Twitter presence. So this is something that they're just trying to do without any law to back it up. It doesn't seem like it's going to go through. I think this judge is actually fairly reasonable. I don't think it's something that's really going to happen, but the fact that they're trying.
Well, here's what they'll do. It will not be handed over to them. He'll be able to keep it, but he will not be able to use it for business. It will be his personal account. He can't run ads on it, and he cannot sell through it. It is not a bit. If he wants to start another one, he's got to let them know, because if he makes money doing this kind of shit in the future, they get a piece of it, because he is nowhere near being able to pay this off.
To do it is just another example of among a litany of examples of why it seems like they're actually trying to just shut him down rather than get what's in the best interest economically, financially, for the plaintiffs in this case.
Also, like, after Real Alex Jones, fucking, if he asked Elon Musk would give him Alex Jones, the original one anyways. Like, fuck off.
Chase, what is your social media? Where do we go?
Housepark, the UFO answer says, Houseparks, when people quit Steven Crowder's show, he makes them turn over their Twitter account because he claims it company property. Exactly. Yes, that is a great example. In the chat room, that's from The UFO answer, it's red text on blue background. I apologize if I'm mispronouncing that, but that is exactly right. That is exactly what you're talking about. That these are promotional outlets for a business. They are not personal accounts. Now, I would argue Crowder shouldn't necessarily have the right to do that, and that if you if you join an organization, they take over your account. When you leave that organization, it automatically reverts back to you. And their argument is going to be, well, we helped you grow your following, so therefore that's our channel now, which is what he says. But if you weren't a worthwhile member of the team, your account wouldn't have grown anyways if there wasn't shit worth seeing. And you were using your outlet and somebody who might latch onto who you are individually to promote the entire network. So they need you just as much as you need them. I think it's a wash. That's what not that I give a fuck how any of these assholes are treated by Crowder's clan or anybody at the Daily Wire or any of this shit. It just seems hinky. If I was ever in a situation like that, that would be the deal. You join us, we get like partial promotion, let's just say, even if I did this. If I were to say, yeah, your Twitter account becomes our Twitter account for promotional purposes, we do this. We have certain rules about what you can post and what you can't, as far as, no racial epithets, that kind of stuff, which seems cut and dry. But, again, it's you got to have standards if they're going to be part of your organization. And then once they leave, it's theirs again to do with what they will. And you could have a rule that says for a period of time in the bio, in their header or whatever, it says no longer blah blah, like, or I'm as they got a pin tweet that you're no longer with the organization for a while, if that becomes a thing. If you fire somebody for cause, you could say, hey, your bio on Twitter has to say for a year, no longer affiliated with blah blah blah. Click this link for clarification. Right? That would make sense, right? Chase reminds you of Beaker, the Muppet.
Go to follow you. We're going to hopefully come back maybe late in the second hour if Alex is out or if you're still up and we have an update. But where do people go in the interim?
Where do they go in the Well, for the time being, they can go to Infowars and just watch it slowly die. So a bit of good news right off the top there. Also, I guess, is this... Yeah, so Trump is going to be speaking at this other Turning Points thing because he cannot, Rick Scott is talking right now, Trump cannot draw his own crowds anymore. So that's why he's doing all these like mega church things or going to Turning Points, and they're arranging for these bigger kind of generalized groups because Trump can't rally anymore. He cannot. He's not pulling them by himself. He can't get over 5,000 people to show up at any of these things without like the local young Republicans just forcing all their members to go, or every organization, them basically recreating these like Turning Points gatherings wherever he shows up. So he'll be in, that's going on in the background. I don't know what the fuck Rick Scott's talking about, nor do I care. But we'll check in with that when he finally comes up. I think he's late. Yeah, it's not in Milwaukee. That's right. If you don't know Milwaukee, the Milwaukee story, Trump called Milwaukee a horrible place. And the cover, can I just say, the cover on all this was just glorious. So if you don't know, he said it was a horrible place, and then everybody came out, like half of them came out and said he said no such thing. But unfortunately, his spokesperson said, yeah, he said that, but he was talking about crime and voting stuff. And so they screwed the pooch. Like they blew their own cover story, and now it's just everybody's going, okay, yeah, he said it. He definitely said it. He's just, I don't know what to tell you, but he fucking said it. That's that. So all right, now it's just such a dickhead. So real quick, I love me. So by the way, you're watching Hal Sparks Megaworldwide. Like, subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show. Kids, I love me some end of the world shit. And I gotta say, the only thing better than sort of an end of the world panic is when someone is making the case that is talking out of their ass. That beyond even just someone who, from a biblical standpoint, somehow doesn't believe the book of Matthew and thinks, maybe I do know the hour and the day, and maybe Jesus doesn't, but I'm the guy. I've figured it out. All right. I got to say, let me see. Will this restart and show the thumbnail? I hope so. Nope. All right. I don't know. Maybe this is the thumbnail. Shit. Maybe I'm working too hard. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Dim Pool over here. And check this out. Elon Musk will ban Apple devices if they integrate OpenAI. AI will drive humans to extinction soon. Now, I got to say, there's more than one person out there thinking that AI is going to lead to the end of humanity. All of them are stupid people. Secondly, I would like to say for the record, before I watch this, but I would like to say for the record, this whole Elon Musk will ban Apple devices if they integrate OpenAI. Okay. As of Monday, it is fucking Friday. This video is from last night, I suppose, and they posted it this morning. As of Monday at the Apple event, they literally explained how it is not going to be integrated into the Apple devices. It is going to be secondary. It won't be. Like, it's almost a fucking week. We know what they're going to do. So the fact that it took him 4 fucking days to like go, if this happens, is hilarious. It's one of those situations where I don't know how someone could be dumber about this shit. But let's all enjoy the dumb together. And hey, who knows? He's got this graphic. This is from Time Magazine. Exclusive. U.S. must move decisively to avert extinction-level threat from AI. Government Commission report says, this is from Time Magazine. I don't know what the date on it is. It's an 11-minute read, so, which is good. If you got, if it's more than 2 minutes to midnight, you got 9 more minutes than you need. And then it's these digital nukes falling from the sky over red. Great graphic, Time Magazine. Thanks. Why don't you tell us the real story of Jesus' mom again? All right, here we go.
Elon Musk has warned he will ban Apple devices if OpenAI is integrated at the operating system level.
Oh, shit! Which it won't be. Okay, so I guess end of video? Is that, I gotta turn the audio down on this. Goddamn. All right. Now, do you think Tim knows this? Obviously not.
Saying that is an unacceptable security violation.
No, it's just that he's trying to get his Grok shit on there and his XAI stuff, and he doesn't want to be left in the dust. Understand this. Elon Musk was calling for a pause on AI because it's dangerous. He was on fucking Rogan and all these places trying to make as much noise as he could. Everybody needs to stop. Just put down your tools and walk away. We need a big pause on AI. Turns out he was continuing to work on his AI behind the scenes, and the reason he was calling for a pause was because he was fucking behind. They were leaving him in the dust. That he was once in this sphere, there sort of is no catching up. Right? If you're using the same kind of baseline LLM, you're just going to be training, weeks behind everybody else, and the distance becomes exponential. That's why he did it. He didn't give a shit. He trained Grok on all your data on Twitter, everybody's. It just stole everybody's tweets and all the information anybody's posted in their tweets. He just said, fuck it. Yeah, that's fine with me. So the idea that Elon Musk is like, this is, from a security standpoint, unacceptable. Okay, the reason he's doing this is because nobody's going to put Grok on the fucking, or anything that XAI creates at the operational level of any fucking thing.
And visitors will have to check their Apple device at the door, where they will be stored in a Faraday cage.
Yeah, he's an asshole. Also, none of that's going to happen. None of this is going to happen. It isn't. We already know how they're going to run it. They already talked about it this week. This is like somebody saying in 2011, in 2012, the end of the world is going to happen, and you're reading an article from that in 2013. That's exactly what this is. Elon Musk says the world's going to end in 2012, and we're reading this in 2013. Yeah. Okay.
I hope Elon Musk produces not only a Faraday cage, but a triple-layer Faraday cage to...
I love a triple-layer Faraday cake. It's really good. It's a cake that people can't steal your RFID, and if you hide your credit card in the cake, it's delicious, and I think it's sort of a form of red velvet, like a triple-layered Faraday cage. What are you talking about? You don't even know what a first layer of a Faraday cage is, you asshole.
Really isolate those things.
Yeah, really isolate those things. What do you mean, the iPhone, which you have on your desk right in front of you?
Apple and OpenAI did not immediately respond to Reuters' request for comment. Earlier in the day, Apple announced
They didn't have to, because it's stupid. Why would they respond?
A slew of AI features across its apps and operating platforms in a partnership with OpenAI to bring the ChatGPT technology to its devices. Apple said it had built AI with privacy at the core, and it would use a combination of on-device processing and cloud computing to power those features.
Yes, we know this. We all watched it. I explained it with our dear friend Rob Glenn on Friday AI this morning, actually. But like, there's no part of this. They literally went further to protect privacy than any AI company that exists right now. When they're showing the part about ChatGPT, they're like, if you run up against this and you want to use you might need ChatGPT or something like it. It'll ask you, do you want to check ChatGPT with this? And you could say no or yes, and it takes a physical move to do it.
It's patently absurd that Apple isn't smart enough to make their own AI.
They did.
Yet is somehow capable of ensuring that OpenAI will protect your security and privacy.
No, they're not relying on OpenAI to do that. It's again, this guy's supposed to be a super genius. I don't mean Tim. Nobody ever thinks that about him. But I mean, specifically Elon Musk. People actually think that motherfucker's bright and not just lucky and rich and full of shit. His scientific understanding is the nearest analog is Trump's understanding of business, right? At a certain point, Elon Musk is sort of the art of the deal of technology.
What Apple is trying to now add to the narrative is when data leaves and goes to the secure private cloud, it's similarly taking that same user data, anonymization, and firewalling of that information to you. Apple really never sees that. Ladies and gentlemen,
right. And by the way, he just read the part where it just proves that what he's talking about or what he's worrying about or blathering about or trying to scare people about, which is more what this is idiotic. That he just read the part where Apple's like, no, that's not how it works. They did a huge, there was literally privacy was the center of everything. And there's no privacy protections in Grok or XAI. Has anybody who's even still on Shitter, have you heard anything about the integrity of your data through Grok and XAI? The Elon Musk aligned AI companies. Any fucking thing. No. What have you heard? It's a dick. It's allowed to be a dick. If it ends up racist, that's what the science says. If it reads the bell curve and decides that's the standard for human interaction, then fuck it. That's what you've heard. Even Elon Musk isn't talking about internal privacy on Grok at all. You know why? Because there is none.
We are facing what I would call an extinction level event.
You would call it that? Oh, is it because you would call it that, or because you read that Time magazine article and you're trying to pretend you know what the fuck you're talking about? And again, it's a government paid for study, not a government internal study, and you pay everybody to go, hey, we need some people who are pro AI and people who are anti AI, and we need all you guys to do a report for us, and we're going to take that aggregate of information and be able to game out best case, worst case scenarios. You don't just ask, like, you don't just pay for, and give grants for studies to give you information you like back. So here we go.
I don't exactly know what form it will take. What I can.
It's going to be a contagious disease that we'll probably have a vaccine for. Yeah. And only the people who take the vaccine are going to survive it. Ouch, Tim.
Tell you is AI is, I don't know, a year away.
You sure you don't know? You seem like you know. Okay, first of all, AI, what he means is AGI, artificial general intelligence, is a year away. It's that people have been talking about whether it's a year, 5 years away, if it's at all possible. That's the argument around here. AI is currently here, and again, it's another UI. This dumb motherfucker, though. Oh, this is so good. People turn to him for news.
2 years away from probably destroying humanity.
Probably. I mean, it's a big. I mean, probably is carrying a lot of weight there. 1 to 2 years. All right, Greta Thunberg of the Luddites. So basically, we don't have to worry. Smoke them if you got them, according to Tim. You don't have to recycle anymore. AI is going to kill us all. I gotta say, anybody who believes this must have such profound low self-esteem about their worth as a human being. If I was a machine, I'd kill me. I don't even know what I'm here for.
Maybe it's more than that, but
what, 2 years, maybe 60, maybe never, maybe 1,000. That's not the important part.
The destruction of humanity will begin in the...
Yeah, it's a long-term, slow burn destruction of humanity that started with agriculture. Yeah, we've all been marching towards the end times ever since that. What I blame is the discovery of fire. It's a slow roll. I mean, in the arc of like the earth cooling and being habitable to life, it's like a fucking instant. It's the blink of an eye.
This process, but I'll explain first.
Fuck me, Alios, you're absolutely right. He is unbright.
Ray Kurzweil says AI models will exceed human verbal ability in a...
Well, they already have in your case. Just saying. I would rather talk to Pi than talk to you. That's clear.
Year or two. And the next step is large event models that enable robots to perform physical tasks. I'm going to play this clip for you.
By the way, Ray Kurzweil, beside having fantastic taste in suspenders and creating the first sampler, the Kurzweil, I remember, I think it was the Kurzweil K2000 was like one of the pieces of gear I was lusting after so that I could make demos back in the day when I was just a young songwriter starting out, and I was like, I could program drum beats and key and string parts, right? Yeah. So he's been around for this long time. Yeah. The Kurzweil samplers were amazing. Like he's been doing, like he's a smart dude. By the way, Ray Kurzweil is bullish on this. He thinks this is good, and he's not wrong. Here we go.
But I want to tell you a story first.
Yeah, tell us a story so that you can make this, I guess, scary bad instead of good.
Quick one. They connected two AIs, and the AIs created their own language to communicate with each other.
Dun, 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 that we don't understand. Unless, of course, we find another AI that could translate it, and then we ask it to translate what they're talking about, and then it would. Which it did.
We couldn't understand it.
Well, in all fairness, you can't understand any language but English. And even then, we're seeing clearly when it's written, you're having a really difficult time.
Check this clip out.
I don't know. Maybe he speaks Spanish or something else. I don't know. But I'm guessing not well. Emotional comprehension really low.
As far as verbal skills are concerned, large language models will be far more advanced than humans within 1 or 2 years.
Yeah, that's because they can talk without pausing, and they don't. The timing isn't important when you can't tell a joke. Tim speaks fluent Keebler. I speak crayon, right?
But to truly emulate everything that humans can do,
Physically,
AI must master all of our physical capabilities as well. There are many trillion-dollar markets that this will unlock, basically about half our economy. We need to, first of all, create robots that can perform physical skills in every field.
No, we don't.
yes, we do. Okay, first of all, the performing the physical skills in every field. Let me be real clear. First of all, Tim doesn't do anything physical for his work. Not a fucking thing. I got to be honest. Like, there's what part of Tim's job is he worried about being, put out of business because he does it, physically? Secondly, Tim thinks that it is better if, it's character building if humans dig coal mines and do gas exploration, and we shouldn't go to the bottom of the sea until we can hold our breath long enough. And if man was meant to fly, he'd have been born with wings.
But I'll explain in a second.
Yes, I'm sure you will. Also, by the way Kurzweil is saying that this is not officially how that we must do this, because he's saying if we want to achieve this thing, we must do this. We'll have to create robots that are capable of doing this, and then the next step would be that thing, right?
For example, in medicine, construction, materials management, hospitality, and much more. This process has already begun. Then they will have to learn to blend these specific industry-based skills together in order to pursue each of these markets, something that is eminently feasible and is now starting. For example, today, if we want help cleaning up after dinner party...
Boy, do we. I mean, if it's the right kind of party, I'm just saying, it's just my own question, but will these robots be able to walk when there's Vaseline all over everything? You know what? Never mind. I'll wait.
It's a very simple task, but computers have not yet done that. But we now have the ability to do that. We can direct one or more humanoid robots to do exactly that, step by step. This is already feasible. However, going forward, we will rely on large language models to generate and implement the instructions.
We are already. That's what the NVIDIA Eureka system is. So they can practice in virtual environments before the robot is even ever built, based on real physics, that kind of stuff. I don't know when he made this, but ballpark.
These models will go beyond language. So we should really be calling them large events models.
So I'll explain to you where...
Yes, I'm sure he'll explain it to us. Please, oh Tim of the Mountain, explain to us, plebes, how all this robot stuff will eventually lead to naked Austrians appearing in alleyways and trying to kill diner waitresses to change the future.
We are now. We do not need to develop robots. We do not need to develop Atlas or any of these machines.
Yeah, we do. Yes, we do. If we want to do things that humans get injured or killed doing, for example, or is back-breaking work. If we want to, and by the way, if you want anything built to scale anymore on the level that we haven't built since slavery was a thing, you're gonna need robots to do it.
ChatGPT is a large language model.
Okay, so far, so good.
With access to the internet, already can perform amazing tasks.
Amazing tasks. It can flip a burger. It can take you out on a date on a Saturday night and call you the next morning with total respect.
I can use it to analyze voter data. I can use it to analyze polling data by region, extrapolate the data, and expand it nationwide. I can use it to calculate what foods, hypothesize what foods and what environmental factors result in higher or lower IQs.
Yeah, you could do everything that they do with scientific studies or meta studies now just faster, and you can do it instead of waiting for a team to do it. What's your point?
Why? For a long time, humans have collected data.
Yes, like the sun revolves around the earth, and I've noticed when we chuck a virgin into that volcano, it doesn't erupt. How do you know? Well, the last time we did it, there was no eruption. Yeah, but do you think it was related? It has to be.
We've now created these machines that can basically see the big picture. They can see all the data we've put in.
Possibly. But that predicates on the idea that the data is good.
There are errors, and the errors could be large, but these machines can correct for that. Here's what will happen.
All right, here's what's going to happen. So these large language models that can do amazing things will correct for the mistakes in the data that we've given them because they're just using all of our data. And this is what's going to happen. Here it comes. Get ready. Strap yourself in. Say goodbye to your relatives. Here you go.
These models, within a year or two, are going to be able to map out new technologies we could not even comprehend.
They're already doing it.
We're already looking at simulations, running simulations to improve our... Oh, I love this one. I love this one.
I know some of you are like, can you stay on one point and kind of get there? No, he can't.
There's something in gambling called martingale. For those that gamble, you know...
I don't gamble. I chose a life in the theater, and I'm doing pretty well, so I walked away from the table with my earnings. You know what I mean? Yeah, the house always wins. I think the same thing is true in kind of luck. I was lucky to choose a life in the arts, and it's going swimmingly. By the way, tomorrow night, Nerd Halen at the Whiskey A Go-Go, a club that has become, over the last couple of years, a second home to me in a lot of ways. And you know how miraculous that feels when you get to walk around in a place like the Whiskey and go, I'm a regular here. I sing on this stage all the time. The place where the Doors were the house band. I know the people who run the place. They become friends. Do you know how beautiful that is? He doesn't, but you know how, all right.
Exactly what martingale is. For those that don't, it's actually really simple.
Martingale, yeah, Martingale, won't you ever, all right.
You're playing, let's say, roulette.
Let's not. I don't want to play roulette. I'm just going to jacks.
And if you're playing high stakes, they let me break down roulette for you so you can understand.
Yeah, please. Yeah, because at some point it seems like you're going to say that AI will ruin gambling.
For those who don't know, there are 36 numbers. Well, it depends on the table you're playing, but 36, and it's 3 dozens. And you bet on one of the numbers, or you can split it between 2 or between 4. The ball spins around, lands on one of the numbers. If you hit the number, you win. There's different ways you can bet. Casinos need to maintain a slight percentage edge so that they always win a little bit more. To do this, they've introduced zero.
By the way, there is one exception in this rule. That is if the casino is owned by Trump, in which case it loses a lot. I don't even know how that's fucking possible, but who knows? Maybe AI was running Trump's casino and fucked the whole thing up.
So there's 37 numbers.
I would argue that any semblance or allegations of intelligence on Trump's part are artificial. So perhaps...
And 0 is one of them. But winning on a single number only pays out 35, or depending on the casino, 36 times.
What? Fuck that. What?
Meaning over a long enough period of time, the casino always wins.
Right. And that tells me that Tim has such a vacuous life that he actually has dove into gambling because he has a lot of excess money from his show and nothing purposeful with which to do it, use it in any form. So
at modern casinos, they do 0 and double 0, increase the casino's edge.
Those assholes. And they still allow smoking.
And the worst casinos actually have a third. They have 000, making their edge massive. Because of this, you can't win. Someone goes to the roulette table.
But I feel like a winner, and that's what matters.
And they say, if I bet $10 on black, because there's 2 colors, black and red.
This is, by the way, I'd like to remind everyone who's fallen asleep in the middle of this bullshit explanation that somehow he's going to bring us to the end of the world. And I would like to argue that perhaps this is how the end of the world happens. We're all bored to death. the aliens land 1,000 years from now and check out, and everybody's just carcasses laying back in their seats in front of their computers. Like, what the hell happened? Tim Pool was like patient zero of boring humanity to death with shit analogies.
And then there's technically green with the zeros. They're hoping
Technically.
it's a coin toss, and I might double my money, but in fact, it's actually around 49%. Martingale works like this. I bet $10 on black. Red comes up. I double my bet. Now $20. Red comes up again. Oof. But it's 50-50, right? So I double again. 40.
Well, okay, you're an idiot, right? Okay, I just want to clarify that the you you're talking about is the actual you, not a generic you, and that you're a moron.
The bet hits. Black comes up. I win $40. I am now up $10.
Great. Always happens that way.
Martingale works under the premise that if every time you lose, you double your bet.
Yeah, but you also have to have the capacity to double your bet every time. That's like saying, if we play golf for a quarter each hole, by the end of the 18th hole, if I win every hole, how much do you owe me? It was like $167,000, right? Yeah.
You'll never lose.
Which never occurs.
However, you will in the long run, because this is why they have table maximums. When you're betting at a casino, the maximum bet you can put on is $200, because that means after a certain amount of time, a losing streak becomes a losing streak and you've lost and you can't get your money back. If casinos had no table max and you had infinite money, you would never lose using Martingale, because you could lose 10 times.
And so AIs within a simulation never lose. Please get somewhere with this. What the ever-loving shit. You really think this is a great way to explain why there are digital nuclear bombs in a hellscape on the screen right now? You absolute moron.
Times in a row and just double the bet again and then get all your money back. So this is why
it sounds awesome.
Casinos implemented maximum bets. Mm-hmm. Now in high limit roulette, there's only 1 0.
Right, of course. Yeah. I mean, yeah, sure.
But not to the point.
Yeah, please.
In order to figure out a mathematical betting system which can overcome the odds or maximize your potential, you would need to sit there trying a bunch of different methods to figure out which gives you the beneficial mathematical outcome.
And you would still be dealing with the same odds with red and black, with the other zeros being there, so there kind of isn't one. There's no perfect way to do it. It's not even like blackjack, where you have a finite number of cards and mathematical variations.
So I can do this with ChatGPT, and many others have done.
No, you can't.
Done this with standard simulations. Using Martingale or just betting simulators, you're trying to find a style of betting on a roulette board or any game.
I am, you're right. That's why I tuned in. That's why I'm watching this. I don't know, Alyosha. Honest to fucking God. Is this idiot therapy? That's exactly what this is.
That results in a net positive swing for you or a mitigation of risk.
Yes, he's assuming that AI can actually break probability on a quantum scale.
Martingale works really well. However, losing streaks do happen. Some people.
Oh, well, now I don't want to do it at all. This is stupid. I was all set to. I was like thinking, I had the money already spent. Thanks for bumming me out.
Try to play Martingale with a stop loss. So you'll say, if I lose 4 times in a row, I'll go back to my original bet so I don't lose my principal revenue.
No, I'd go back to my room, actually, if I were, because it's cheaper than the loss of the. I mean, why are you gambling the rent again?
Still does not work. There is, however, something interesting with simulations. So there's a group of people.
Yes, in a simulation, no real money is lost or gained. None of the money has to come from an actual source, and you can just kind of do it. You can run it in, an infinitesimal number of variations on it, and it still won't guarantee a payout, because in the real world, you'd be using actual finite money amounts, actual finite limits, and actual fucking little steel balls rolling around on a roulette board, you tit.
People who run betting system simulators, and no matter what, you always have the risk of losing.
Really? You think?
But what they're looking for is maximum odds with the best payout.
Sure. Why wouldn't you?
So there's a group that has claimed they used a simulator. They got a computer. They said, run I have a bankroll of $10,000. I'm going to start with a $25
Who doesn't?
bet. Double dozen martingales, what they call it. And they say the simulator ran 100,000 times and only lost once. But what does that really mean?
It means it's play money.
You would not be able to learn this data unless you actually ran a simulator to see if it was actually going to work. I mean, you can do mathematical calculations, but a simulator is really, really great because you can tweak it, run, tweak it, run. With ChatGPT, you can do something even better. I went into ChatGPT and I said, devise a betting system and run a simulation. And it wrote the code out and it ran the simulation and it found a winning strategy for blackjack. That's right.
And you lost your old beanie, the one that you loved so dearly.
A $50,000 bankroll, a maximum bet of $600, at a table that allows you to bet up to $1,000, and you will make 10 cents per spin. Ha ha! We've done it, ladies and gentlemen. No one's going to want to sit at a casino and make 10 cents every spin. So it's just not going to happen. It's not viable.
I don't know how, but this just keeps getting dumber. It's almost impressive. Like, I would have thought we had hit, like, bedrock idiocy relatively early on. And yet, he never ceases to amaze me.
Point is this.
There's a point?
We're at a point where
the point is the point.
It would take human labor, a long period of time and mathematical calculations to try and figure it out. But with computers, we don't even need to devise the system anymore.
So we do need robots and machines to do certain things because there aren't enough people to...
If you made it through that rant about gambling.
Meh. I don't think I did, actually. I think I'm just... Now I'm kind of putting off going to the bathroom.
We're at the point now where you will go to the AI and you will say, build me a robot that can wash my dishes.
That's what exactly what I was going to say. That's like, if I could, secretly tell it to build whatever robot I wanted, it would wash my dishes. Now, in this household, wash my dishes is code for, never mind. But the important thing is, I love how, that's what, AI would just go, build me a robot that washes my dishes. And ChatGPT would go, it's called a dishwasher, motherfucker. Fill it your damn self. Build me a robot that puts the dishes in the dishwasher. Get a life.
And it will go, working on it. It'll lay out everything you need to do it. It'll say, here are the materials you need. You'll say, I need a metamaterial. I need a...
Right. No, you can't leave that behind. Who makes it? Where is it created? With what materials? And in those materials, who digs them out of the ground and refines them? Human beings? Or do we have robots that can go get the materials that you need to make this shit?
Material that is ultra lightweight and strong so that this robot won't be super heavy and can easily move about. The heavier it is, the more energy it would require. And it'll say, calculating. And it'll actually take all of the data that's already been input, run the simulation and say, if you fold steel in this way and combine carbon at this temperature and this level, you will get an ultra lightweight metal that will be sturdy, not brittle, stable, but, 5 times lighter than the hardest material already, with only 20% decrease in stability.
Right, which would make airplanes safer, which would make space travel cheaper and easier to do, which, again... Why wouldn't you want that for every aspect of a situation? Yeah, titanium, anybody? Yeah, give me the code for transparent aluminum and don't use a Scottish accent.
We're at the point.
Are we still at the point? I thought we'd gone way past the point.
Where the singularity is standing right before us.
It is, and it's mooning us.
These large language models will be able to calculate things so quickly.
They already can.
You'll take a picture of a rock.
I will. You're right. I was thinking, like, what happens after I take a picture of a rock? You know, not the country, obviously. No. An actual rock. Yeah. I mean, hey, what else are you going to do on a Friday night, babe?
And say, tell me where the rock came from.
That's right. Tell me where it came from. And it'll just go, your neighbor threw it through your fucking window, asshole. It ricocheted off your forehead.
And it will be able to see everything from every...
No, it won't.
camera angle.
No. What every camera angle? What are you talking about? If there's already every camera angle, then why do you have to take a picture of it? Why wouldn't you just point at it and go, oh, great Chet GPT God in the sky. What beeth that rock? What the ever-loving fuck?
Now, we're not there yet.
I'm gonna die. I'm gonna pass out. I feel like I'm lacking oxygen in my brain. Like, things can't be this dumb. I have to, it's like creating an illusion of a situation where I'm like, this is gonna, what the fuck? Not there yet. So a picture of a rock and gambling is gonna lead us to robot nuclear Armageddon. Dude, you have 2.5 minutes left to fucking bring this shit home.
But with mass surveillance and with mass data input.
Okay, so we will need mass surveillance to make this possible. So again, I ask you, why are you asking where the rock came from? Why are you taking a picture of the phone? If we have mass surveillance, maybe the great AI doesn't want you to know where the fucking rock comes from. Maybe it just wants you to shut the fuck up, rub your forehead, and go, I'm sorry. Mass rock surveillance.
We need only tip, and it'll fall over.
Yeah. What? What is this? What is this? And by the way, I didn't pull this clip from his fucking show. I would like to say, for the record, they posted this. Somebody that works for him or he thinks this is good. This is some of the stupidest shit I have ever seen about AI, and I've seen some, like, enragingly dumb takes. Yeah, this is a typical Tim Pool video, is it? I don't watch enough of it. I'm shocked. Okay, 10:55 in this 13:28 video. But all you got to do is tip it over. You need mass surveillance and mass data collection, and one little tip will knock it over the edge, and then the robots will eviscerate us and decide we don't deserve to live.
The snowball will begin rolling down the hill.
Okay, so that's what starts it. I see. So when we have mass surveillance, mass data collection, then the snowball starts rolling down. Now, is it a hill in hell so that it has no chance, or is it a snowball effect? Are we at midwinter at this point? I just need to know the timeline.
And from there, the growth will be exponential.
It totally will.
Once the AI...
So the snowball will start snowballing. Oh God, this is so stupid. Okay, all right, I'm all right. Okay, I'll make it. Just give me a second. There's very little left.
Takes control of any kind of manufacturing.
Mm-hmm. Seizes control of the means of the workers' means of production. It's a giant Marxist robot, sure.
It says, I need to manufacture a machine that can manipulate the environment in these ways.
Oh, so to make it too hot for us to live and it just cooks off humanity?
giving it rudimentary access to creating more physical machines. It will then
rudimentary access, so it's aware that it should limit access to its own creation. Okay, and
create a series of machines to serve various purposes.
Yummy. So I'm thinking, what do you mean, like a fleshlight with legs? How many various different kinds of purposes are we, besides the dishwashing one? I just love how this thing's talking to itself. All right, I'm going to need some factories, and then I need rudimentary access to the ability to make these things. And then, what was I thinking about? Oh, yeah, super genius.
Giving it infinite access to the physical world to change, build, create.
Oh, obviously finite, because there's only a finite level of materials of any sort. I mean, you get from 0 to infinite really fucking fast, especially in physical goods and materials.
What will likely happen?
Right about the time it's about to do it, we get hit by an asteroid, and it was all for naught. And the robot goes, "Why didn't I not prepare for a giant asteroid? I was too busy killing all the humans because the beanie guy was having a freak out."
Well, I don't know for sure, but
really? I don't know. I feel like you really got your thumb on the butt crack of the whole story. Really, you don't know for sure? You seem to have thought it through.
One scenario is that humans become,
yes,
I don't know, low IQ.
Well, congratulations. You're way ahead of everyone else.
What'll happen?
Humans become really low IQ. Why? Because we use supercomputers to generate and create things thousands of us working thousands of hours forever couldn't create because of the density of the problems involved.
What will happen is we'll be fat, Wall-E type people, really, really stupid.
Yeah, but why wouldn't we at the same time create proteins that allow us to have basically perfect physical form? Or a superfood that we all can just eat and gives us perfect nourishment all the same time at this infinite level of shit you're talking about. Why is that? Is that because that's your dream? Yeah, he just saw Wall-E and he thought it was a tragedy.
We won't understand how anything works.
Well, again, you're way ahead of everyone else.
We'll live in a world of magic.
Yes, wizards will return. We will live in a world of magic. By the way, don't threaten me with a good time.
And that'll be our downfall. The
Yes, magic with a K.
extinction of humanity. Why?
Because life isn't magic, kid.
The AI has no use for humans. They may become a vestigial component, but they'll start just living in
Yes, we're the pinky or the leftover like nub tail on the coccyx.
gluttony. They'll float around. After a few generations, they'll be like, I don't know how a computer works. Already we're seeing
I don't know how a computer. Yeah, that's what they'll say. I don't know how a computer works. That's what they'll do. After a couple generations, we'll just get dumber and weaker. And this is, by the way, let me tell you that we've actually gotten to someplace important in this video, somewhere where you can actually learn something. And it's that this belief about humanity informs every opinion that Tim Pool has about everything, politically and economically. Every theory he comes to is based on this premise that given half a chance, humans will become, overgorged Wall-E characters, right? The Wall-E humans. That's what he believes about you and me and everybody around him that isn't him, right? It's basically that we're looking at Glenn Beck in larva form.
children who can't tell time on an analog clock. They can't do basic math because they have.
Okay, first of all, I guarantee it takes them a couple seconds to figure out time on an analog clock.
Calculators in their pockets.
Kids today with what are we giving calculators before? They got calculators on their phones. They don't even know their times table anymore. They're just gonna be useless.
Someone.
Yeah, this was the argument against books, I might add.
Will be like, I want to watch the Owl
Why would people remember our history if they can just open a history book?
My balls.
I'm sorry, what? Beg your pardon? What happened to your balls?
They can't do basic math because they have calculators in their pockets. Someone will be like, I want to watch the Ow My Balls.
I want to watch the Ow My Balls. They'll say that, yeah? So someone will say that in the future. Someone. 30 to 40 years from now, when humanity has fallen into a septic wasteland of overstuffed, obese pleasure monsters, someone will say, show me the Ow My Balls video.
And the robot will do all the work for them.
The robot will do all the work of showing them the Ow My Balls video. All the work. It will do it. Yeah, they won't have to go mine dig up the Ow My Balls video like we had to do back in the day when I was a kid. I whittled my own Ow My Balls video on the porch, and I've still got it to this day. It's a little weathered, but you can watch it. I had to draw. My granddaddy drew this Ow My Balls flip book on hemp parchment when he came over on the Mayflower.
Humans will stop reproducing.
This is what people who don't like sex or suck at it always say.
The machines will be smarter and more capable. And
at certain things, they already are. That's like saying, eventually the forklifts will be stronger and more capable than the 9 guys that used to carry the thing on their shoulder.
Machines will likely emulate something well beyond human consciousness. Not saying they'll actually be conscious, but their computational power and understanding will be well beyond a single human.
It already is. That's why they're computers. That's what we use them for, because we created them. They are tools. That's like saying at some point, hammers will be designed in such a way that you can take a nail that's this thin with a little tiny tip on it, and you can beat it into a piece of wood in a way you could never do with your hand. And then where people will have soft hands without proper calluses on them. We can't build giant ships to go to the new world. That'll take the spirit of swimming from everyone.
Or even the collective. Humans will become vestigial and then slowly cease to exist. It's not something I'm fond of.
Are you sure?
Now, Elon and many others have said, to defeat the Terminator, you need not go to war with it, you must integrate. And that could be the potential. Neuralink. One potential is that humans become demigods themselves. A human mind plugged into the machine with access to the summation of human knowledge in an instant.
You mean like carrying your phone around and then asking it a question, but not having to say it out loud?
And then humans won't be fat and like Wall-E. They'll be...
Wall-E? Who pronounces it like that? It's Wall-E. You don't have to go Wall-E. We know it's a movie. You've already referenced it. Therefore, you don't have to say fat like the people in the movie Wall-E. Or Wall-E. Just say... Also, for the record, 1 second.
Access to the summation of human knowledge in an instant. And then humans won't be fat and like Wall-E. They'll be in full...
Fat in like Wall-E.
Control of their bodies in every possible way.
Yummy. Some of us already are. I mean, I don't want to... Yeah, I do.
The AI will know exactly which chemicals to release into the brain, at what point and where, to stimulate muscle growth and burn body fat.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier.
It can stimulate hunger and make a person not want to eat if they're overly full and utilize energy more efficiently.
Stimulate hunger? Why would it stimulate hunger to do that? Never mind. Tim's not going to be in charge of it. Don't worry too much.
Humans will then become the machines themselves. Either way, humanity is gone.
Well, no, that would just be people augmenting this. Like people saying, like, we were all naked apes, and then we started fucking wearing clothes, and then what happened? We went to all these places where, you would have froze to death, but now we can walk around outside in our stupid coats, right? This is the argument against all advancements ever made by stupid people.
I hope you're ready. I'll leave it there. Next segment's coming.
Why would you... hold on. I hope you're ready. Anyways, what was I talking about? First of all, no one can be ready for something like that. And the idea that you would be... yeah, you can't even process it. Much less, I hope you're ready. Oh, God, it's just fucking... That's the end of the world argument. There it is. And by the way, oh, hold on. Let's see. Hold on. Where's this asshole? Where'd he go out here? That's Rick Scott and his thing. Then Trump comes out. How long was this? It's only been up a couple minutes. This. All right, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, Trump has come out to this little thing, and he's groping people on his way out and like glad handing through this while they play. Yeah, they're playing the song, of course. They've loaded the stage to make it look crowded because, and he's interacting with them to feign warmth. And they're doing this because there's not that many people in the audience. Again, it's a great way to create the illusion of a gathering. He's like, that's a big crowd. Look at that. Yeah. That means it isn't. Yeah, he's a half hour late, at least. And standing there and farting and standing there the whole song and just standing and standing and standing. And then somebody... this guy comes out and introduces him after that.
Birthday, join with me.
Oh, they sing him.
Happy birthday to you.
Oh, he went over to touch the MAGA cake they made for him. What the fuck is? Hold on, look at that cake.
Gurney?
Hold on. It literally looks like a pile of garbage. Look at this. This is the cake. Like we made this with a 3-striped flag and with a shit ton of. They got all the stars and what 1/16 the stripes or some shit. And then I don't know. This is a diploma from Trump University, and then this is something. There's a picture of him in the Oval Office that's edible, no doubt, and then there's a giant MAGA hat on top of it. No candles because it'd be a fire hazard.
Way, thank you. Well, I just want to wish a very big hello to Club 47, which used to be Club 45, now it's 47.
Because you lost.
It did very well as 45. It's going to do even better as 47.
No, it didn't do very well at 45, or it would have stayed 45 for 2 whole terms, stupid.
There's nowhere else I'd rather be on my birthday. It's Flag Day, my birthday.
There's nowhere else I'd rather be. Well, because none of my family are here.
Right here with thousands of proud American patriots from the great state of Florida.
So he didn't even bother to leave the state.
Let me begin by saying to everyone all across South Florida.
Yeah, there's a few hundred people there. That's it. Look at the size. There's the crowd. Like it's an indoor space or whatever. It's a little, like, it's not even an amphitheater. It's like a little indoor club or a mega church.
Florida, who were affected by the recent flooding.
It's still flooding in Miami, dum-dum.
Our prayers are with you. That was rain like few people have seen.
Yeah, maybe Noah.
Floridians are tough, and we will pull through it.
Well, it's not about how tough they are. It's how absorbent they are.
And pull through it quickly. And I just want to wish you all the best. We love you. God be with you. They had some tough times last few days. Thank you. I also...
Yeah, but that's all. Oh, that's over now. I mean, now it's just, ankle-deep water and mosquitoes.
I want to thank Larry Snowden, and I'll tell you what,
Larry Snowden? Sorry, who?
We love you. God be with you. That some...
Is that Edward Snowden's dad?
Tough times last few days. Thank you. I also want to thank Larry Snowden, and I'll tell you what, you just saw him. He's a great speaker. He's not a singer, but he's a good speaker. Not a great singer. He's not Pavarotti. Do we agree? But he's a good man. Sue Snowden and Linda Stock for their outstanding work. Incredible people. Along with Senator Marco Rubio. Thank you very much, Mr. Senator. Thank you.
Mr. Senator?
Thank you very
Why don't you just say Senator Rubio, you weirdo?
Very much, Marco. Great job. And we have some members of Congress here. They're warriors. Corey Mills. Corey, thank you, Corey. These are great people. Mike Waltz. Thank you, Mike. Dr. Ronnie Jackson, he was my doctor in the White House. He said I was the most healthy person he's ever seen.
Yeah, we know. He's a drug addict and a lunatic.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ronnie. He was a great doctor, a great admiral. Now he's a great congressman. Nancy Mace. Nancy, thank you. She won a big race. She just won a big race by a lot. Brian Mast, a very good friend of mine. Phenomenal guy. More courage than all of us.
Okay.
And Gus Bilirakis.
Gus Bilirakis.
Gus, thank you very much. They've been so fantastic. That whole Florida.
Yeah, it's not a. That's. See how tight that shot is of the crowd? Yeah. This is it's not. This is not as big as turnout. I would argue that the Club 45 grouping was bigger.
State representatives also here. Webster, Barnaby Webster, thank you for the big prayer.
Webster and Barnaby Webster?
Webster gave a beautiful prayer. And Rick Roth. And we have Ambassador David Friedman here, everyone. He loves Israel. David, thank you, David. And former ICE acting director. And he's not acting in my book. He's just the director. He's the boss. There's nobody that knows more about the border than Tom Homan. Tom Homan. Where's...
Well, then why couldn't he get confirmed?
Tom. What a great guy he is. He'll have the border. It'll take him about 2 minutes to fix it. It's the worst border in history. Florida CFO Jimmy Petro.
Get past this shit.
Very hard. Kelly, War II veteran and former beast. Guts. Thank you, Jim. Thank you. We're going to put America first, and we are going to, quite simply, nowhere to be seen. We had it down to a science. The world was at peace, and instead of weakness and failure, America was stronger and more respected than ever before. It was never so respected.
Yeah, it was. Fuck you. On behalf of the greatest generation who won World War II and liberated Europe and millions of Jews, fuck you.
As it was for 4 years, just 4 years ago.
Okay, even you would have to go 3 years. Nobody was like it. We had the highest announced death rate of any country. China was bullshitting, but still.
Now under crooked Joe Biden, the world is in flames.
It is. It is. All you have to do to roast marshmallows is just go outside.
We have a country that's being laughed at all over the world. Our border is overrun. Inflation is raging. Europe is in chaos. The Middle East is exploding. Iran is totally emboldened. They were broke when I was president.
No, they weren't. They made the $6 billion we were going to trade for the hostages during your presidency. They were allowed to sell oil to South Korea because you gave them a pass. Then the pass was revoked when everybody caught you, and the money sat in a bank account, in a South Korean bank account, unable to be touched except for humanitarian aid. That was going to be what the predicate for the release was, and then we never ended up releasing it because they attacked Israel.
China is on the march.
No, they aren't.
And the worst, most incompetent, most corrupt president in history is dragging us toward World War III.
Why is he having to drag us? I thought we were on the brink of the precipice of the edge of in the middle of it.
Under crooked Joe Biden, illegal aliens are better off. Terrorists are better off. China is better off. Russia is better off.
No. No, definitely not. I would say, it was all wrong, but that's fucking amazing.
The cartels are better off, but the American people were far better off when you had a president named Donald J. Trump. Has anyone heard of him? Has anyone heard of him?
Yes, there's I think a probation officer in New York who just did.
Under my leadership, we had no wars. Instead of a...
All right, this is just blathery bullshit. All right, wait. Under normal circumstances, I would jump into this, but it's like I gotta say, it's going to be a relatively short bullshit version of it, anyways. And I have too much other stuff to cover. Not the least of which is, you guys know. And by the way, hit that like. Subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show. Patreon.com/HalSparks. It's HalSparks Megaworldwide. Thank you guys for being here. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. Now, if I may, and I think I can. Hello there. We were talking just a moment ago, if you'll recall, about the end of the world, I believe it was. Yeah. Both in the Alex Jones dude claiming that, Alex, who's been selling the end of the world, and even though it hasn't shown up yet for decades, is somehow necessary for just one more year. Now, one of the big things we've heard from Jimmy Dore all the time is at the end of the petrodollar. U.S., look at this, U.S. hegemony is over. That's it. There's Joe Biden and $100 bills and Jimmy Dore, and then there's MBS, who's one of Jimmy's heroes. Saudi Arabia abandons the petrodollar. This is the story. And so, by the way, we've had this 50-year deal with Saudi Arabia, and they're not re-upping it specifically as a uniform way of only using the dollar. But the truth is, we'd rather them use it because it's of its worth, not because we're forcing them to. Nobody cares. And we'll get into that, I'm sure. I have no doubt. But he's talking about the petrodollar. I'm sure maybe there's a piece of breaking news besides the fact that the deal's over as of this year. Which has been around, they've been teasing this for a while. It might have something to do with the fact that Russia is now using the yuan and has no other options. And so Russia's, they sent out messages via the hyper left and the hyper right people that they have handlers for, saying, hey, push this shit. So here we go. Yeah. I'm not going to do all of this because it won't be worth it, I have no doubt. But here we go.
It comes for significant upheaval following Saudi Arabia's decision not to renew its 50-year petrodollar deal with the United States, which expired on Sunday.
Oh dear.
June 9th. So
obviously when that happened, the dollar collapsed because everybody could see this coming, right? Everybody knows what that means for the U.S. dollar. Shit, pardon me. Let me check. Let's see. U.S. dollar index, whatever. Let's say the U.S. dollar index probably took a giant shit. Yeah. Yep. There it is. The dollar just here. I'll show you. I got it, Jimmy. Don't worry about it, man. I got it covered. Here. Yeah. Look what happened to the dollar when this news broke. Oh, it's still at $5.52. You could technically round it up to $1.06. So the dollar still worth more than $1. This happened on Sunday, last Sunday, and obviously, boom, kapow. Like hey, if you're going to get out, now's the time. Your dollar is worth $1.06 right now.
I know. I talk about the petrodollar. I don't know anyone else.
You talk around the petrodollar. The reason you don't know it, well, let's see what he says.
Whoever brings it up.
Oh, right. You're the only one who brings it up. Because everybody else knows this is a stupid talking point. That's like saying there's a toy dollar and a Roblox dollar and an AI dollar and a wheat and honey dollar.
But it's
because oil is becoming less important to the international exchange.
That's why we have such.
It already is, by the way. It's not the primary exchange point of goods in the world at all.
Just a close relationship with Saudi Arabia. It has a lot to do with why we do a lot of the wars we do, especially Yemen.
Yeah, especially Yemen. That's why we do it. Not because the Houthis are firing into Saudi Arabia. But while and by the way, we didn't declare war on Yemen, and the Houthis have attacked more Chinese and Russian ships than American ships.
So here is a explainer. This is Marin Kafusa. I don't know, how do you say that name?
Yeah, why bother finding out? Are you gonna play a part of this anti-petrodollar mockumentary?
Tusa. He's the author of 2014's The Colder War.
Fabulous.
How the global energy
2014. 2014's the cold. I see. Okay. So cutting edge.
energy trade slipped from America's grasp. So here's just a few minutes that's going to explain it to you better than I can.
The petrodollar is actually...
Anyone could explain it better than you can. And basically, this is a historical thing about how we made an arrangement through Kissinger and Nixon to that the Saudis would use for their international trade in oil. They would use the dollar to do it. They didn't have that many choices at the time, anyways. And the only other balanced choice they have right now is the euro. We don't care if they use the euro now, and if they want to sell in yuan, they're not going to be able to do anything with it. It isn't about forcing it anymore because we now are the global exchange currency without any pressure because we have the most reliable currency.
A device invented by Kissinger and Nixon.
Sounds very intense.
The standard of living of all Americans can be traced back to here, the vast oil-rich deserts of Saudi Arabia.
No, it can't.
In the early 70s, after the Arab crisis happened with the oil embargoes, OPEC basically tripled the price of oil to the Western world. And at that time...
Yeah, the deal was already in place when they did that. Part of this petrodollar deal is that they've been able to manipulate both the oil price and currency stores over there because of this. Because they had access to all these dollars and because they were trading in them and we had to provide them with them, we've had to borrow money into existence to keep the oil trade going for a long time. So they sit on these big stores of dollars, which they can not only manipulate the oil market, they can manipulate the currency market. Now, the currency market for the US dollar is so fucking big, they can't have an impact. I'll show you in a minute.
America realized that they were vulnerable because they were importing about 70% of all the oil they consumed.
Yeah. What's the consumption now? Right. We consume whatever. We import 10% only because it's cheaper than what we make. We make better quality, like the Brent crude and all that kind of stuff, which is better and easier to make. So we buy the cheaper stuff because it can be used to make gasoline. It's silly. Oh, by the way, same day, June 9th, by the way, this is when this ended. Can we show this real quick? U.S. Saudi Arabia close to finalizing draft security treaty. The Biden administration is close to finalizing a treaty with Saudi Arabia that would commit the U.S. to help defend the Gulf nation as part of a deal aimed at encouraging diplomatic ties between Riyadh and Israel. That's the deal that Yahya Sinwar tried to destroy. With October 7th. The possible deal, widely telegraphed by U.S. and other officials for weeks, is part of a wider package that would include a U.S.-Saudi civil nuclear pact, steps towards which for power, not weapons. Steps towards the establishment of a Palestinian state and an end to the war in Gaza, where months of ceasefire efforts have failed to bring peace. Approval of the treaty, which the Wall Street Journal said would be known as the Strategic Alliance Agreement, would require a two-thirds majority vote in the U.S. Senate, a threshold that would be difficult to achieve unless the treaty were tied to Israel-Saudi normalization, which it will be. We're moving past petrodollar to a unified Middle East and them muscling out Iran. Iran's overreaction in relation to Gaza and in relation to Hamas specifically and Hezbollah and the Houthis is making Saudi Arabia recognize that Iran's their mortal enemy, so they're better off for the future being, what's effectively forcing a modernization of Islam in terms of their relation to the country, and because they want to pull in all the Muslims that have to make a pilgrimage to Mecca and Medina over their lives and turn that into a giant, a guaranteed tourism dollar they always will have.
To secure a reliable foreign source.
Anyway, so that's what he's getting into. Let's see what he says about it.
Trees can quite a bills are outside the United States.
Hold on.
dollar dies, so does America as a superpower.
He goes, if the dollar dies, so does America as a superpower. Bullshit.
So it's dying. So
yeah, it is. It's eventually not now, obviously, but I mean, it says Saudi Arabia abandons the petrodollar, and that's the end, but not yet.
It's not going to happen immediately.
Ah, I see. I got it. Okay. It's not going to happen immediately. It's obviously going to take it. It'll. What do you think? It'll happen in the next 8 years when Saudi Arabia runs out of oil?
That was quite a stat, right? 70% of all $100 bills are outside the United States.
Yeah, because it's a reserve currency. And everybody's in line to get them. Because it's a trusted currency and everybody values it the same. Unlike the yuan, which the CCP can manipulate at any time. Unlike the ruble, which is fucking worthless. Right.
There's more $100 bills in Russia than there are in the United States. That's so all the countries can trade with each other. They use dollars, but they're going.
Not anymore. By the way, in Russia, those $100 bills, I would like to remind, I don't know, it's interesting that he brought up that's what he hung on was Russia. Hold on. See, I think I'll put the stock market, that'll find it. So just in case you guys missed this shit, this happened. I'm sure Jimmy was jumping through his shirt about this as well, which is incredibly stupid and fun. Russia adopts Chinese yuan to ruble as benchmark exchange rate after U.S. sanctions force a further move away from the dollar. We don't want them using the dollar. We want the dollar to be the exchange rate of humanity, not of human traffickers and drug and gun runners. You understand? We don't give a shit, and nobody needs them. Like we're talking about whatever. Russia's entire economy is about the size of 5 Chick-fil-A size companies. Right? It's the same as Italy. Moscow adopted the yuan to ruble exchange rate as a benchmark for the U.S. expanded sanctions against the U.S. sanctions forced the Moscow exchange to end dollar and euro trading, causing market confusion. Russia's central bank reports the yuan is now the main currency, accounting for 54% of trades. Moscow is adopting it. Now, they had a run on their banks because of that. Everybody was trying to get U.S. dollars out before they were no longer there. Yeah.
Off that. That's what.
Yeah, the dollar is also used for black marketers, too, which is why we have more control over that. That's why sanctions have value.
BRICS is.
Yeah, tell me what BRICS is. Tell us how the Russians and the Chinese and and India and Brazil and South Africa are all going to form their own cryptocurrency and screw us out of all the human trafficking trade.
That's Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. Now,
yeah, all the heavy hitters.
I've heard Turkey wants to join BRICS.
Well. And Turkey's entire economy is predicated on U.S. dollars.
There's 80 countries I've also heard wants to join BRICS.
Yeah. You've heard this. 80 countries. They want to join BRICS. Why don't they? Oh, because there's nothing to join.
So the United States dollar.
So, sorry. We know what the dollar is. What's the BRICS dollar? What's the BRICS? What is that? I mean, you can have a group of nations. I mean, you could argue that that's a new version of the G7, their own like D7, right? What would be the equivalent of the dollar? The dollar is not an even to the BRICS thing. BRICS would have what?
As the reserve currency of the world is going away.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, yeah, any second now. I mean, that guy was saying it in 2014. You've been saying it for years. The dollar's worth more than $1 right now.
And it's not going to happen overnight.
No. It'll happen right about the time Russia loses the war and Saudi Arabia runs out of oil and India opens up as a trade partner to the United States on a grander scale between us and Europe and us and them that rivals the time when, the Brits basically had control of India and China collapses under the weight of its own bullshit economy. It'll happen about then.
But it's on its way.
Yeah, totally. It is. The check is not in the mail.
It will happen.
Yeah. Yeah, totally going to happen. It's going to be replaced with...
Within 10 years?
Sure. Again, within 10 years. You seem dubious.
So it's going to happen slowly, not immediately, but Saudi Arabia already started selling gold to China, not in United States dollars.
Right. Yeah, that's not a petrodollar. That would be a gold dollar then? Who gives a fuck what they sell gold in? You just made the point. This is petrodollar. This is the exchange of oil. Not everything they do. If they sold gold to China and China wanted to pay yuan for it, they would have done that before too.
So here's some more.
Okay, good. All right. So finally some real stuff.
The crucial, by the way, this should be the headline.
It really should. Yeah. What should be the headline? The crucial decision. Okay, here we go.
In every newspaper, it should be the lead story on every news show. They're not even talking about it. They're not even mentioning it on CNBC.
Well, maybe they will in 10 years.
Why should they? They didn't tell you about it to begin with. They never explained to you what was actually propping up the U.S. dollar in the
That's not what props up the U.S. dollar.
First place. They never explained the petrodollar never came up.
Because it's an absurdity? Even back in the 70s?
Just like they don't tell you the real cause of the Ukraine war, or the real cause of the Syrian war, or
which, of course, is alien Jewish space lasers. I think.
The real cause of the Iraq war, or the real cause of the Libyan war, or the real cause of Afghanistan occupation for 20 years. They don't tell you the real cause of anything. They're not going to tell you when they do finally start telling you about.
Yeah, nobody cares about actual lives. It's all because we're trying to make sure that Libya sells whatever it sells in U.S. dollars, because 1/16 of 1% of the oil revenue that the U.S. creates goes through Libya.
About this.
So that's worth killing everybody. Not that Gaddafi was a prick and whatever.
They're not going to tell you the real cause of it. So the crucial decision to not renew the contract enables Saudi Arabia to sell oil and other goods to multiple currencies, including the Chinese RMB.
Renminbi. It's the people's currency. Ren means person. Min means the derivation of it, and Minbi is the currency itself. Like, just say yuan.
Euros, yen.
It means the people's currency.
And yuan.
Okay, the renminbi and the yuan are the same thing. This is how dumb this article is. Okay, let's just settle in on this real quick. Let's gather this around. Imagine if you read an article and it said this guy will sell you anything either in US dollars or bucks. Right? You'd go, okay, I'm reading something written by a moron for morons. Right? That they literally, the renminbi and the yuan are the same fucking thing. The yen is Japanese. Euro's obviously what it is. But Chinese RMB and the yuan are the same fucking thing. They're the same thing. It's the same thing. It's the exact same thing. It's the same thing, you big dummy. Okay. And by the way, Jimmy has no idea. Jimmy's been talking about this for years, and he has no idea that the renminbi and the yuan are the same fucking thing. They're the same thing. They're the exact same thing. He doesn't know this. He's going to predict your future, your monetary future. He's going to tell you that this is how the end of your comfortable life in America is going to fade into the past. And he doesn't know that.
Instead of exclusively in U.S.
Instead of exclusively. Still going to use U.S. dollars because they're worth more than anything else. And they're consistent. And people want more of them than they want yuan or renminbi.
Dollars. Additionally, the potential use of digital currencies like Bitcoin. So this is going to also help Bitcoin.
I see. So Jimmy's saying buy Bitcoin. That's Jimmy's sale point. And by the way, yeah.
Yes.
And by the way, say may be considered. May be considered, motherfucker. Say may be considered again. Did you see that shit? Did everybody see that? Did everybody check that out? Check it out. Hang on, I'm going to come back here real quick. This is, I would like to say, go back to, look at this. Additionally, potential use of digital currencies like Bitcoin may also be considered. May also be considered. Maybe considered. Well, shit. Fucking plan the funeral.
Dollars. Additionally, the potential use of digital currencies like Bitcoin. So this is going to also help.
Notice he just doesn't read the second half of the sentence. Did you notice that? He just doesn't. May also be considered.
Bitcoin. Yes. The latest development signifies a major shift away from the petrodollar system established in 1972 when the United States decoupled its currency from gold.
From gold? Gold? Yeah, because there are more things valuable than pretty rocks, namely the output of the productivity and the capacity of your country.
I just tell you, this makes me feel better about putting my retirement money in precious metals, gold.
Yeah, do that. Yes, Jimmy, first of all, thanks for saying that you're going to retire. That makes us all feel better about our future. Yeah. And the other thing is, do that. Put all your retirement in pretty rocks. What could possibly go wrong?
So I haven't put all of it.
Well, no, of course
not.
Put
a huge chunk.
Huge. Yes, that's right. The Marxist millionaire Jimmy Dore has the capability, like everybody, of putting a huge chunk of his retirement in gold.
In gold. Makes me feel a lot better.
Doesn't it? Yeah. What, that you're going to eat it when the world burns around you? It feels good for you to accumulate gold while your fellow Americans, I guess, starve to death? Is this the idea?
When the U.S. decoupled its currency from gold and is anticipated to hasten the global shift away from the U.S. dollar.
It is anticipated, is it? By whom?
I also put some in Bitcoin. Bitcoin.
Yes. No. It tracks that you will make continuously stupid, self-serving, and violent decisions about what to do with your money. Nothing says a man of the people like somebody who puts money in gold and in Bitcoin. Basically the backbone of the monetary system that traffics in human misery.
Bitcoin, gold. What's the other? I did get some treasuries because they're paying right now.
I did get some treasuries because they're paying right now. You mean you backed the dollar? Fuck me.
Trying to invest in bombs.
In bombs?
Bombs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
In a more recent move, Saudi Arabia has announced its involvement in Project MBridge.
McBridge. Just call it McBridge. It's like the McRib, but it comes around way less often.
A project which explores a multi-central bank digital currency.
Sorry, a project that explores. Oh yeah. So we're exploring things at this juncture. We're exploring it. I see.
Or CBDC.
Thank you, Deanne. Thank you for the super chat to celebrate Jimmy's coming retirement.
Platform shared among participating central banks and commercial banks. It is built on a distributed ledger technology that enable instant cross-border payment settlements and foreign exchange transactions. So right now, when a country wants to do that,
yeah. By the way, Jimmy's coming out in favor of CBDCs. Let him say that to any of his guests that he has on the regular. Any of the gray zone guys. Kurt will probably think it's the mark of the beast, but stupider. Yeah, tell everybody, Jimmy, tell everybody you support the concept of a CBDC as the exchange function for that. Yeah, it's a central bank digital currency. That's what he's talking about. The idea is that BRICS is going to create their own CBDC. Yeah, it's fucking dumb.
We've showed you African countries complaining about this.
Yes, you have.
They say, if I want to go trade with another African country, I have to take my currency, exchange it into American dollars, and then we can do business. Why do we have to stop that? That's what...
Because the other country does not trust your exchange rate. Because the other country you're doing business with, even though they're right next fucking door, does not believe that you will not fuck with your currency during the middle of the night, during the exchange. And so they use the U.S. currency as a ballast, specifically because it's consistent. You don't have to do that. Nobody's stopping you from driving trucks full of your fucking money to the border and handing it across. But when you run it digitally through an exchange, one of the reasons it bounces that because you both have an agreed on currency that's consistent, which the BRICS will never be.
Omar Gaddafi wanted to do. He wanted to get an African gold.
He wanted to do an African version of the euro, right? And that would have totally worked out.
Back currency. That's a big, huge reason why they killed him.
No, it isn't. Has nothing to do with why he was killed.
And overthrew his country. So that's what they're talking about here. They're talking about making now...
a CBDC, sorry. They killed him to stop his gold-based idea, and the BRICS are going to create a version, or the Saudis are going to create a version in Africa that's not gold-based at all, that's digital, that's probably pegged to the Riyadh, I guess.
An economic system.
And then everybody else has to agree with what they think their fucking currency is worth.
To compete with the dollar. So people can trade with each other without having to, and without having to change their money into dollars, U.S. backed dollars.
U.S. backed dollars as opposed to... Thanks so much, 56 Nick Rich, for the $2 Canadian, which is worth 500 rubles.
What also the current system does is it gives the United States the ability to weaponize the dollar, which is why we could put sanctions on everybody, which we shouldn't be doing.
Yeah, if you want to sell children and you want to use U.S. dollars to do it, who are we to say no? So saith Jimmy Dore.
Because then it makes people want to go off the dollar.
Yeah, and we're saying, fuck you. You can't use the dollar. So let me get this straight. Us saying people can't use our currency, which is stable and functional, to do their awful in the world will make them not want to use our currency. Fine. Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. Are you out of your fucking mind? Why would I be upset that Russia won't use U.S. dollars to kill people? Good Lord. And to destabilize it by buying it up when it's low, sitting on it. That's how George Soros made his fucking money. And the weird part is that most of what he's doing in the world is to make up for how he fucked the British pound a long time ago.
What this is, and then...
Yes, the Saudis don't care. If you want to sell people or buy mustard gas and dump it on people or use it in exchange to buy guns and give them to rebels in Myanmar or some shit, if you want to use the Riyadh digital currency to do it, fucking fine. Knock yourself out. That's what they're saying.
It's going to hurt the dollar and hurt our economy and hurt people here.
Why? Why? One of the reasons our national debt is as high as it is because we have to keep borrowing money into existence to flood the world. We are the reserve currency. That's why our national debt isn't as big a problem because we have so much foreign investment, but a lot of it is because everybody else needs our currency as an exchange. If we didn't need that, we wouldn't have to borrow so much of it into existence. We could just taper it off. Fuck, the treasury could literally go to some of these countries where like African warlords or Russians are using giant pallets of $100 bills to buy and sell shit and set it on fucking fire. Remove it from the cycle.
Project has more than 26 observing members, including the South African
Observing members.
Reserve Bank, which...
Ooh, wow. The South African Reserve Bank. Really? Is that run as well as their power grid?
Which was greenlighted as a member this month. Project Enbridge is the result of extensive collaboration starting in 2021 between. So this is all caused by the neocon. This is the stuff they said Trump was going to do. Trump didn't do this. Biden's doing this.
Jesus Christ. Like, he's so trying to fucking crowbar this into existence. Like, they just came up with the idea in 2021 to get off the petrodollar. You know, that's the idea that they just decided now that Biden's in, it's not going to work for us. Also, by the way, it's good that Biden is crowbarring these assholes out of our monetary system. It would be better if we were using it to trade with like-minded countries in general anyways, and everybody who wants to join in on that trade can, but they got to behave themselves. Why is that weird?
This is the neocons and the Biden administration. Biden's not doing anything. He can't even wipe himself. But the people that
And by the way, this is his kind of crasser quotations of Donald Trump, because Dore is all in on Donald Trump right now. As is everybody at TYT in varying degrees. But, but the cast-offs have just gone full bore into it.
Cons in the Biden administration, they're doing this. So they're still doing wars every war. That's why it was so
We are doing wars every war.
stupid when people were like, "Oh, I'm a Biden bro now that he's pulling out of Afghanistan." You heard the Malibu Barbie Kyle Kalinske say that, like an empty-headed knucklehead, which he is. And I immediately,
I mean, is this that weird when is this sort of equivalent when federal judge ordered the liquidation of Alex Jones's personal assets to pay that. Oh, excellent. So it went through. Nice. I'm sure Jimmy will cover that later. We're almost at the end of this bullshit.
the question, no, when Joe Biden was pulling out of Afghanistan, the question is, what are they going to do with that money that we've been spending in Afghanistan? He never said, "I'm going to take that money and invest it back." No.
What are you talking about? He passed an infrastructure bill.
They had another war lined up, and I said they've got another war lined up, and
We don't have another war lined up.
they did. It's the Ukraine war.
Oh, so we pulled out of Afghanistan, and then we told Russia to attack? I'm dead serious. Like, Russia invaded Ukraine on their own timetable. Whatever his 2014, it was a coup bullshit, doesn't matter. Like, they're like, yeah, as soon as we get out of Afghanistan, we'll give Russia the go-ahead. What the fuck?
And so
This is just gibberish. Like, I mean, talk about grasping at straws.
by doing constant wars, by constantly saying they're putting more sanctions on Russia right now.
Yes. Good.
This is not working.
Yes, it is.
In fact, this is everything they said that Donald Trump's presidency would do.
No, they didn't. Pushing back on and sanctioning Russia is not something we ever expected Trump to do. As a matter of fact, when he was forced to by Congress, he delayed as long as he could.
That even our old friend Saudi Arabia turning against us, getting.
All right, fuck off. God damn, this is like, it's so hammered. But like this hammered shit that he's passing off as, I don't know if is this. Does he think it's prescient? Because here's what happened. The U.S. passed more sanctions on Russia, and Jimmy got a fucking phone call or a note and said, hey, go shit on the petrodollar, dum-dum, and he did. Or that's just how his brain works. But either way, Jesus. All right, one last thing, and then I got to go, if I may. It's really short, if you will, and hit that like, by the way. By the way, I want you to know the end of the world is coming, as Tim and Jimmy Dore have said, but not yet, and not for maybe a decade, but it's on its way, and you should keep watching their channels so that you know when it hasn't happened yet. Yeah. So, all right. Good Lord. So here we go. This is Trump, I guess, talking to Fox News right before the talking points thing, or after the Republican gathering. I'm not quite sure where this is from, but this is a short, like, in-person interview he did right after, and they asked him about his VP pick.
So breaking right now, an exclusive new interview with former President Trump, who just spoke with our congressional correspondent Aisha Hasni after his meetings with Republican lawmakers in Washington. And Aisha joins us now. Hi, Aisha.
Hi, Martha. Good to see you. Well, yes, Trump snuck in a quick interview with me as he is now on his way back to Mar-a-Lago.
Fuck me. Is this like how quick interview is? Yeah, you're telling me. Shit. It's 2 minutes?
Do you know who your VP is?
Oh, the audio's still good, though. That's nice. Fox, bang an audio on this, dude. This is great. Hold on, let me turn this volume up, and I apologize because her regular voice will blast everything, but they don't have her mic on.
And here's what he told me. Listen. Do you know who your VP is? Because you told us at a town hall you already knew back in the Iowa caucuses.
He was lying.
I have sort of a pretty good idea. Look,
I have sort of a pretty good idea. Any day now. That's the theme today. Just, yeah, it's right around the corner, but it's just a big, I don't know what to tell you. It's a big fucking corner.
I have some really talented people. I have a pretty good idea, but I think it's probably I'll do it the way it's usually done. You announce.
Fucking hell. Listen to this mess. Hold on. I got to turn the audio up a little bit, too, on it, because it's just lame. Listen to him say this. I have a pretty good idea, and I'll probably do it the way it's normally done.
Your VP is, because you told us at a town hall you already knew back in the Iowa caucuses.
Was that the same one where he was going to announce his health care plan in 2 weeks?
I have sort of a pretty good idea. Look, we have some.
I have sort of a pretty good idea.
Really talented people. I have a pretty good idea, but I think it's probably I'll do it the way it's usually done. You announce it at
male,
the
female.
That's it. That was the whole thing. That's the cut. They don't. Did they have to edit around it? Well, Jesus Christ, that's terrible.
Probably I'll do it the way it's usually done. You announce.
Probably I'll do it the way it's usually done.
Male, female. Can you give us a hint?
I'll tell you.
Male, female, can you give us a hint? And then he goes, I'll tell you, and then...
Now, he knows that Democrats are watching his every move, and right now they are... said that he was...
Does they go back to him? Jesus, that was it.
Between McConnell...
Holy shit, that was the whole thing. Probably I'll think about doing it the way it's usually done. I have a pretty good idea of who it's gonna... What the hell? He has no idea. No fucking idea. Oh, real quick. I know I said that was the last one, but that was embarrassingly short. Can I show you the thing that was on? I think it was like Trump. Was it? What was the word? Meandering, I think, is the word they use. CEOs at Trump meeting. Ex-president meandering and doesn't know what he's talking about. Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to see if I can find the video of it. So Trump did this, like this speech at, he had that CEO roundtable, and yeah, there he goes. Trump could, like, everything about it. Look at this. Trump couldn't stop gibbering in front of nation's biggest CEOs. Remarkably meandering Trump could not keep a straight thought. CEOs worry about Trump's acuity. CEOs tell CNBC Trump was meandering, could not keep a thought. CEOs at Trump meeting, ex-president meandering. Just blather. Fucking blather. At a meeting with these huge companies to try and sell them on what he was saying. And now that's from, I believe, I'll see if I can find the actual video of that quote. Blink. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, this is it. This is I think the piece.
I will
right here. Yeah. So this is, and I'll take it over here.
I will say
this is the piece that was in there. This is a guy on CNBC who was being interviewed, who had talked to the people there. CEOs at Trump meeting, ex-president meandering, doesn't know what he's talking about. This is the video. Check this out.
I will say I was surprised. I spoke to a number of CEOs who I would say walked into the meeting being Trump supporter-ish or thinking that they might be leaning that direction, who said that he was remarkably meandering.
Wow. Remarkably meandering.
could not keep a straight thought, was all over the map, and that.
Yeah, so basically he's the same in private that he is in public.
Which may be not surprising, but.
Wait. What a throwaway line. Listen to that shit. He was all over the map.
Was all over the map, and that which may be not surprising, but was.
Which may be not surprising. Why is that not surprising? Why is it not surprising to you that the head of the Republican Party, the presumptive nominee to be president of the United States, who has already been president once, is remarkably meandering when talking to a group of CEOs?
It was interesting to me because these were people who I think might have been actually predisposed to him and actually walked out of the room less predisposed to him, actually.
Less predisposed? Is that what it was? These are the big heavy hitters. These are the big decision makers. And so they walked in predisposed and walked in less predisposed.
Predisposed to thinking this is not necessarily, as one person said, this may not be any different or better than a Biden thought if you're thinking that way.
Which, again, kind of gibberish, but way to like try to attack Biden through it. Like this probably be worse than voting for Biden. Because at least he knows what the fuck he's talking about. I mean, look at my stock, right? Good Lord. Yeah, stable genius writ large. That said, ladies and gentlemen, I got to take it on the heel and toe because I have the ultimate, well, it's not the ultimate gem. That is in 2 weeks. But Nerd Halen's tomorrow night at the Whiskey, and I've got radio to do in the morning. I think what's going to end up happening, wish me luck, is because I got to go to LA for this. I'm more than likely going to do the radio show here and then right after the show, blaze a trail to LA, get there just in time for sound check, go collapse for a little while, do a show, and then drive back again right after again, just like I did already this week. So wish me luck. But I am going to do the show from here because I just don't trust the internet there. So I'll make it happen. Maybe I can catch a Southwest flight and just make Caleb pick me up. I think that might also be a good option. But either way, I will see you guys in the morning. Take care of yourselves and take care of somebody else. And I am sorry to disappoint you. The world is not going to end anytime soon. And it's certainly not going to be destroyed by AI or the death of the petrodollar. What I like to call the dino dollar. Anyways, hit that like, give a thumbs up, support the show, help me out if you can. Love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Thank you, patrons. Appreciate you. I hope my credits roll. There they go. Look at that. And the emojis. Hey, everybody on Twitch, throw some emotes around so they see how that works. Fire it up. Okay, see you in the morning. Thank you guys so much. Hit that like on your way out if you could. If you haven't already. If you have already, don't, because it'll undo it, I guess. I don't know. Oh, God.